Hey everyone, this is Audrey Codner from ACG Math Tutoring. I hope you guys are having a hell of a better week than I am. So, if anything, if you want to continue to learn some math from someone that's cursed by God personally, go on, stay here, stay for a while. Well, what we're going to be working on is measurement conversions. So, this is a part that a lot of us are kind of fearful because kind of going into from our form of measurements here in the States versus the metric, it does put a little fear in everyone's hearts because we're not used to measuring, into whole pints and everything. It's usually just gallons, it's like miles, it's centimeters, and so forth. So what we're going to do is we're going to be working on those conversions. So this is something that could be helpful if you are doing your TEAS test. You're definitely going to be seeing a lot of conversions in that conversion chart over and over again. So if you have the time, I got the time, we're going to break it on down. So welcome on in. Hello, Rough Nut. How are you? Feels like forever since I talked to you. All right, so hopefully everyone's having a good night. It's like Evie, how are you? Jay, welcome in. Good, I'm glad you're doing well. All right, so let's get started because this is not going to be too much of a long one, but it is going to be an informative one. So we're going to look at the first one. So we're going to say how many quarts are in 9 gallons. So I know for sure when you guys are looking at your conversions, there's going to be certain things that you're going to probably have to memorize, all right? So my suggestion, if we kind of look into my handy dandy chart that I have in the 4th through 6th grade ones, this is when they're doing a lot of conversions. So we have our cups, we have our pints, we have our quarts, gallons, and milliliters. So if we're just looking for, let's say, quarts and gallons, we need to figure out how many quarts are going to be in 1 gallon. So if you look here, we have 4 quarts is equal to 1 gallon. So I know some of you guys probably have seen something like this on the horizon. Let me not have it so zoomed. This is like the latest thing that a lot of our students are learning. So if you notice, we have a big G. So the G is representing gallon. And then inside, we have 4 quarts. So that means 4 quarts equals 1 gallon. And they're trying to think like, okay, well, how many pints equals a gallon? So if you see the letter P's, there's 2 pints in each of a quart. So 2 pints, 2 pints, 2 and 2. So 2 times 4, that gives me 8 pints. So 8 pints equals 1 gallon. And then if we break it down even further for cups, so notice the little C's, okay? So we have basically 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So 16 cups equals 1 gallon. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, Audrey, this is elementary. But there's a lot of people that they're just like, holy hell, this is genius. So I am trying to cater to as many of the mixtures as I can as possible. So also a little tidbit, we got like 1 quart equals 2 pints. Okay, see, we have 1 Q, 2 P's. Okay, so 1 quart also equals 4 cups. Now 1 pint equals 2 cups. So they just did it as a nice little graphic if you want to take a picture of it. I know, same here, Roxy, same here. But these are the things that's also, it might be the deciding factor. I know they definitely have something like this in the TEAS test, and they always have it in every test. Like sometimes it's going to be feet and miles and all that stuff. So let's get back to this. So if we're sitting here talking about that there are 4 quarts in 1 gallon, they want us to know how many quarts, which we don't know, so that's going to be my unknown, which is the X, is in 9 gallons. Okay. So when you take this, and I think L, it kind of went away for me on my side. Someone had it up there already. Oh yeah, here it is. L, is it Heves? If I'm making it incorrectly, please correct me. So the way that you can do it, you can set it up like proportions if you want to do it algebraically, okay? But if you want, you can also do it, and I've done this in my course, you can also do it horizontally. So how do I get from 1 to 9 through multiplication? I can multiply by 9. So if I multiply the denominator by 9 to get this 9 gallons, I can multiply the numerator by 9. So 4 times 9, that will give me 36. So how many quarts? It'll be 36 quarts. And if you want, you can also cross multiply if you're so used to doing it algebraically. So when you cross multiply, you got 1 times X, that gives me X. And then 4 times 9, that gives me 36. All right. And since X is going to represent our unknown, that will be our 36 quarts. Okay. But notice how I set it up. Quarts was in the top, in the numerator, gallons was in the bottom, in the denominator. You stick to the same pattern with the other ratio. Okay. So you don't want to mix it up. So now let's go to the next one. So it says how many gallons are in 44 quarts. So again, we're talking about quarts and gallons. So we already know that there's 4 quarts in 1 gallon. But this time they gave us the quarts. So that means the numerator of my new ratio is going to be 44. So my unknown is going to be the denominator because we want to know how many gallons. So we can do the same thing. If anything, 4 times what will give me 44? There we go. Good. So if we know 4 times 11 gives me 44, then 1 times 11, because whatever I do in the numerator, I have to do in the denominator, will give me my unknown of 11 gallons. All right, good. Hey, C4, how are you? All right. So it's like once we know what the initial measurement, like what you can get possibly out of 1 gallon, what you can get possibly out of 4 quarts or pints, or maybe centimeters and inches and yards and all that. Once we have like a good person on, hey PJ, that's how you can really easily break it down. All right, good. I'm glad everyone's doing okay. Just a little bit out of shape. I have to do more in the basement. Yes, now the sub pump is not working at all. Great. And it rained earlier today. Just, yeah, that's the vision. Anywho, I'm not going to get upset. Not going to cry. Doesn't make any sense. All right. So now, for the, hey Janice. Okay, for the third one, it asks, how many cups are in 6 pints? Now, if we recall, we're going to talk about cups and pints. So remember I mentioned earlier, 1 pint has 2 cups. Remember the P? Double C's inside the P, okay? All right, so if I can zoom out, especially for people that just came in, this is how we're looking at the gallons. So if we're looking at for 1 gallon consists of 4 quarts, and 1 quart consists of 2 pints, and 1 pint consists of 2 cups. So if we're looking at cups and pints, so we know that there are 2 cups, and 1 pint. And they're saying how many cups, so that's my unknown, is in 6 pints. Sometimes we can figure it out without doing these, what's called a proportion. Okay? So sometimes we don't need to do that. Yes. All right, so I'm seeing 12s. I'm seeing 12s. Hey, Latoya. I'm seeing 12 by C4. Hello, Rector. How are you? All right, I'm seeing 12 by Roxy. There it is. Okay? So if 2 cups is representing 1 pint, that means 2 times 6 is going to represent, the 6 pints. So that's when you have your X is equal to 2 times 6, and 2 times 6 is equal to 12. So you have your 12 cups. All right. So now, shifting over, how many feet are in 3.5 yards? Ooh. So here we go. Here's the original question I'm going to ask you. How many feet is in 1 yard? Let's see how many people remember. How many feet is in 1 yard? Is it Angelina? Okay. John's saying 3.3, 12 feet. I'm saying 3 feet. Okay. Hello, Uncle Al. All right. So we're saying 4. Okay. So there is 3 feet in 1 yard. Okay. So if I go to my handy dandy, okay, we can't use the big G because that's not gallons. So if I go into one of my my conversion chart that I didn't really create, but just organized. So we have 12 inches is 1 foot. So for some of those that said 12, but then we have 3 feet is in 1 yard. So if we take a look, we want to know how many feet. So that's my unknown for the numerator, because feet's going to go with feet, will give me 3.5 yards. Okay. All right. Okay. Handy dandy notebook. I know, right? Okay. So, how many feet do you think? Okay, Janice is saying 10.5. Rox is saying 9.5. C4 is saying 10.5. Michael's in the house. Okay, Latoya is saying 10.6. Aaron, hello, 10.5. Oh, I need to ask you a question. Michael saying 10.5. Jolynn says 2.5. Donna says 10.3. Thank you for being honest, the great kid. Okay, not knowing. Is that Fa? Saying 10.5. Okay, you're saying 10.5. All right, no problem. Because if we want to, we know that if 1 yard Like 1 times what will give me 3.5? That's also going to be 3.5. So you're going to take your x, which is your unknown, 3 times your 3.5. And then here we go with the multiplication. 3 times 5 gives me 15. Carry the 1. 3 times 3 is 9, plus the 1 will give me 10. Now, the 3 doesn't have a decimal place, but the 3.5 has 1 decimal place. So that means my answer should have 1 decimal place. So it's going to be 10.5, and make sure you indicate feet. All right. Okay. Now, anxiety. How are you feeling? Because I know as soon as people have to do any form of conversion, the anxiety, the stress level starts bubbling up. Okay. All right. Okay. So JR, what would the answer be then? Good, Janice. Okay. C4 is good. You're okay. Awesome. The right fit. Cool. Okay. Yeah, it's just a matter of knowing what the basic concepts are. Okay. All the silence. All right. Okay. So you're already saying 10 quarts? For number 5? Oh, you're probably looking at number 6, C4. Okay. It's probably hiding on that part. Okay. Ooh, there you go, C4. I was like, ooh. All right, so how many centimeters are in 5.5 meters? Okay, again, it's not that big G, but since we're looking at our whole measurements, so if you want to know centimeters and meters, remember, there's 1 meter contains 100 centimeters. All right, so if we know that ahead of time, we can have our 1 meter over our 100 centimeters. And they're saying they want to know how many centimeters, so that means my x, my unknown, is going to be in the denominator. And then my 5.5 or 5.5, that's going to be in the numerator. So if you come and you can cross multiply, so now you have your x, which is being equal to 100 times 5.5. And then that means I could, when I multiply 100, I can also move this decimal point over 2 spots. And since I'm moving it over 2 spots, the reason why 2, because 100 has 2 zeros. So if I move it over 2 spots, but this will go to the right, because we're trying to make our number bigger, we're going to use a 0 as a placeholder. So that's where it comes 550. And it'll be 550 centimeters. Sorry, it's supposed to be getting bigger. Okay. Okay. All right, so good, Roxy, good, Latoya, good, hi, Melanated, good. Okay. Right. Okay. All right, cool. So, all right. My daughter is 10 and went to your site to get math work to do for. Aw, that's sweet, John. Thanks. Don't worry, I'll try to keep it kosher. All right. So now for number 6, how many quarts are in 2.5 gallons? 2.5 gallons. Okay. All right, so how many quarts are in 2.5 gallons? And I think a lot of you guys already did it, which was great. Oops. All right, so all right, you switched up. Okay, Blue Blood King said 10. Some other people said 10 earlier. Let me kind of, yeah, C4, you said 10 earlier. Okay. All right, Roxy, you didn't do it yet? Okay. So how many quarts? First off, how many quarts are in the gallon? So we've done that before, which was 4 quarts is in 1 gallon. And we want to know how many quarts, so that's my unknown, is in 2.5 gallons. Okay. There you go. Hey, Robert. Good. So 4 quarts times 2 is 8, and half is 4, so it'll be 10. Good, Shannon. All right, Latoya, good. I see your 10s both times. Okay, 10 gallons, Roxy, 10. Good. Right, so that's it. So if you have your 4 times your 2.5, that will give us our unknown X, which is 10. So it'll be 10 quarts. All right. All right. Good. Is it Kanoa? Good job. Michael, good. Good job. Nice. Hey, Fast Horse. Nice. Good. All right. So for the most important, I like to always say, so definitely know your lengths and your heights. Okay. So knowing that there's 12 inches in 1 foot, 3 feet in 1 yard, and especially this 1,760 yards gives me 1 mile, or actually 5,280 feet gives me 1 mile. Sometimes, especially these tests, they love to do stuff with feet and miles. I don't know what it is, but they love doing it. And I'm just like we're supposed to memorize that. Yeah, I guess we are. Also, like kilometers and meters. It's like basically these two, if you can hunker down from here to here, you'll be pretty good. Sometimes they'll sprinkle in one of these, but they won't bombard you with tons of them. Okay, so like the conversions, that would be like around like a 2 or a 3 point question, depending on what they're asking you. If they're doing some things like these would be like about a 2. But if they said something was originally in feet and now they're talking yards, that double conversion, like you're doing it twice, that would be considered like a 3 point question. 3, possibly 4. Okay. So if we can get those higher ups, that would be good. All right. Yes. Okay. You need this chart. All right. Having to remember that. All right. Yeah, I'm probably going to share it to the group, the ones that are taking the course. So you got dibs. To remember those. Oh, I know. Nano, yes. I'm not even going to sit here and try to lie like, oh yeah, this is my favorite chapter ever. Nope. Lies. I'm like, why? Life is already hard, and now you got me doing stuff. But it needs to happen. All right, so we have basically 6 more problems because we're going to do a little more with pints, get some with inches, get some with centimeters, feet, and yards. And I think that's all we're doing. All right, so how many pints are in 4 quarts? So if I may, remember the capital G. I'm telling you, sometimes visualization kind of helps a little bit. So in order to get a big gallon, we got 4 quarts, okay? 4 2 pints is equivalent to 1 quart. So they want to know how many pints are in 4 quarts. How many pints are in 4 quarts? Okay, Alex, how are you? Okay, Pog saying 8. Pog saying ocho. Cookie, how are you? 8. Roxy says 8. Fax Horse says 8. Michael says 8. Danny says 8. Awesome, guys. You know, I'm not asking you to get a tattoo of this because that's extreme. For like what? 1 question? I was like, yeah, let me put a parabola right here on my forearm. Like, yeah, please no. Making them right. All right, so here we go. Oops, thought I had that taped down. Psych. All right, so we already got that. This is our 8 pints, so we know that. Okay, how many inches are there in 2 3/4 yards? Why am I saying it like that? I don't know. Yards. Yes. How many pints are 4 quarts? 2, 4, 6, 8. I did, Janice. Yes. Okay. So for us, now we have to do a little extra conversion. So we're going from inches to yards. Well, we know that 12 inches is 1 foot, and then you have 3 feet is 1 yard. So if you know that 12 inches is 1 foot, how many inches are in 3 feet? There we go. We could do 3 ratios. We can do 3 ratios, and that's when it gets all kinds of funky. So I'm getting some 96s, some 99s, a 137, 99, like 20. Okay, Michael's saying 99, C4 is saying 108, Lynette saying 36. Who said 96? We'll scroll up. Someone said 96. It's all up there. Okay, I see 36. I see 36. So, okay, the 36 is for my inches. So let's be brave. All right. So if we know that 36 inches are in basically 3 feet, and 3 feet gives me 1 yard. So now we need to know how many inches, which is our x, is going to be in 2 3/4. What can we do with that 2 3/4? Like, how are we going to multiply that? Good, Tracy. We can do that. All right. Yep, we can do 2 and 0.75. Yep, 75. Good. The 81. Yes. So you can turn it into a decimal. So 3/4, if you think of your quarters, 3/4, we're only missing like 1 to give me a full dollar. So that's where we got our 0.75. So what we can do here is cross multiply. The reason why it's not cross simplify is because I got an equal sign in between. Okay, if there was a multiplication symbol in between, or maybe just parentheses, you're going to be cross simplifying. Since there is an equal sign, we're going to cross multiply. So x times 1 gives me that x. So now we got our 36 times our 2.75. So I want to practice multiplying with our decimals, okay? Now, Remember, this is a time test, so sometimes you do not have this time. So I like to say 2.75 because it has 3 digits, and 36 multiplied by 36 because that has 2. And when we do our multiplication, remember guys, if you're going to take the GED, the ASVAB, ACCUPLACER, TEAS test, you cannot use a calculator. So when you practice these things without a calculator. So 6 times 5 gives me 30, so that's 0, carry the 3. 7 times 6 is 42, plus 3 is 45, carry the 4. 2 and 6 is 12, plus 4, that gives me 16. Now I'm going to do the 3. 3 times 5 is 15. I'm bringing the 5 underneath the 5. If you want to put a 0 as a placeholder there, you can. But I'm going to carry the 1. 3 times 7 is 21, plus 1 is 22. So I bring down the 2, carry the 2. Then 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 gives me 8. Then we're adding. We got our 0. 0 for the 5 plus 5 gives me 10. Carry the 1. 6, 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. 1 and 8 is 9. Since this has 2 decimal places, and this doesn't have a decimal, that means my answer is going to be 2 decimal places. So we're going to move it over 1, 2, which will give me my 99.00. But since we're talking about inches, we can have x is equal to 99 inches. Okay. Yep, you're not allowed calculators for those tests. Nope. If anything, there's certain sections, there'll be like a computerized calculator on there for certain problems, but majority of the tests you cannot use a calculator for. Yep. Yes, 99 inches. How did I get 36? Oh, good question. So we know that 12 inches, right here, we know that 12 inches equals 1 foot. And we know that 3 inches equals 1 yard. So we needed inches that's equivalent to a yard. Okay, we need inches that's equivalent to a yard. So I would have to multiply 12 times 3 to get my equivalent. Oh, sorry, I said inches, I mean feet. So sorry. That's why I was like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, oh, because I have inches instead of feet. So if I have 12 inches equals 1 foot, and 3 feet equals 1 yard, so that means 12 times 3, 36 inches, will equal 1 yard. Okay, so that's where the 36 came from. Okay, all right. All right, awesome. Okay, 4 more. Oops. Okay. So how many centimeters are there in 3.5 meters? Okay. Oh, thank you. So how many centimeters are in 3.5 meters? So how many centimeters are in 1 meter? Centi Century, that's 100. Okay. So deci is 10. Centi or sen is 100. And kilo, 1,000. All right, so I see some answers here. Pog saying 350. Janice, not sure. Thank you for your honesty. Okay, appreciate that. Desi, hey, thank you so much for sharing the live. Okay, thank you all for sharing the live and coming on in. Math questions? I don't know, Wyatt. Yeah, I think you told me you're in advanced math too. Okay, Michael saying 350. Okay, so it's not too big of a jump. So since we're talking about centimeters and meters, so there's 100 centimeters in 1 meter. So they want to know how many centimeters, so that's my unknown, are in 3.5 meters. I can convert that half to what? There we go. So we got our 3.5. So now all you have to do is cross multiply. Or you can think about 1 times what will give me 3.5? Well, that's going to be 3.5. And if I multiply that denominator by 3.5, that means I'm going to multiply the numerator by 3.5. Okay, so you have your unknown is equal to 100 times 3.5. Now, we could, remember, we don't have a calculator, so what we're going to do, we're going to go from a small number to a large number. So we're moving this decimal over 2 times because it's being multiplied by 100. 100 has 2 zeros. So when we move it over, we have to add in our 0. So that means x is going to equal to 350 centimeters. Okay. Why is it 3.5? Well, it's saying for 3.5 meters. So why not convert that half to a decimal to make it a little easier for your multiplication? Okay. Hey, South Africa, how are you? All right. Okay, you're welcome. All right. Juicy Mama, thanks for the follow. Appreciate that. Hello. Is it Kima? Linda? Rama? Oh, no problem. You're always welcome. Oh, well, thank you. Any tips for an inspiring math teacher? Ooh, what grade? Jaylane, what grade? So I got plenty to say. Gotta get some warnings to you. No, just kidding. Yeah, I can understand. Elementary, woo, you have the babies. Well, as we all say that they're lovely babies, but you need us patience. Patience. Enjoy your time right now before you start back up in the school year. Also look at, don't get too crazy with the Pinterest classrooms. Like, don't compete with that. You know, just try to have enough manipulatives. Everyone's classroom looks good in the magazine because there's no kids in there. Because as soon as some kids come in there, shoot, that classroom going to be all kinds of tore up. You know, they'll be like, ooh, look at this, look at that, look at this, look at that. And just have a really nice rug. Have the rug. Make sure they're having a nice, comfortable time, and figure out a way to clean the rug, because the custodians will not clean it. I'm just going to let you know right now. So you might need to get your own self a little rug cleaner. Yeah. Because it gets funky. All right. So you're doing elementary or middle or high school? What are you doing? Oh, you are too? Oh, good. So you guys are going to take your praxis, or are you on the road? Wait to algebra? Okay. All right. And you want to take the ASVAB? Awesome. When are you taking your ASVAB? Okay. All right. So you're doing upper. Okay. Gotcha. I don't give the ASVAB. I just break down the algebra component. That's all I do. But I don't give it. But I do give support on how to solve it. So far, we got a couple people that solved it. Yes. All right. Okay, so we have 7.2. So how many feet are in 2.4 yards? Okay. Any help counts? Definitely come on in, because I am currently doing a course that's helping people with their GED, the ASVAB, and the TEAS test, as well as the ACCUPLACER. So if anything, go ahead and DM me if you're interested in joining in. All right. Okay, so Desi, you're saying 100. You get 7.2. Well, we're about to find out. You know, sometimes people just be throwing numbers out here. You know, wind and a prayer. All right, so we need feet and yards. Okay, so we want to know how many feet is in 1 yard. And we kind of talked about that, right? So we said that there is 3 feet in 1 yard. So they want to know how many feet are in 2.4 yards. Okay, there you go, Liz. Thank you. So we're going to cross multiply. So that means you got your x is equal to your 3 times 2.4. So if you have your 2.4 times 3, 4 times 3 gives me 12. Carry the 1. And then 3 times 2 gives me 6, plus 1 gives me 7. So this has 1 decimal place. This doesn't have a decimal place. So that means I'm moving the spot over once. So we're looking at 7.2 feet. Okay. So good job, Bruce. Yes, BB289. Good, Janice. Cookie, awesome. For 5 point, and the other answer, okay. So the answer is 7.2. There we go. Good job, South Africa. All right. One, 2, 5. Okay. So who else did I not say? Oh, old's out. Oh, hold on. I want to say old's out for a second, but old something. Good job, Olds. Pa, good job. All right. Nice. Okay. So here we go. Peeps, is Chinese to you? Aw, don't be Chinese. No. All right. Sponsor a kid is 47. Yes, Amanda, it is. Thank you. All right. So I know I kind of skipped around at first because I was like, I didn't want the same type of questions. So I just tried to say there was a lot of pints questions on that other thing. So, all right. So how many meters are in 450 centimeters? Aw. What? Come on, peeps. Think about it, Janice. Think about it. Don't give up on it. All right, so TikTok is saying 4.5. I know you have. And Renee is saying 4.5. Michael's saying 4.5. Kima saying 4.5. Now you're gonna go. Oh, let's see. Okay, so if anything, we're talking about meters and centimeters. So here we go. For 1 meter is 100 centimeters. Okay, thank you, Amanda. I appreciate that. So 1 meter is 100 centimeters. So if we're saying that 1 meter is 100 centimeters, and I think the hardest part is to remember what should be this first ratio. Okay? Because then it says how many meters, so that means we don't know how many meters, but they're giving us 450 centimeters. Okay, meters in the numerator, centimeters in the denominator, or flip-flopped. Doesn't matter, you're gonna get the same answer. So this time, there seems to be a division. If I think about it, all right, what's 450 divided by 100? And since 100 has 2 zeros, I can start back here and I can go 1, 2 to get 4.5 that way. Or, if I want to do it algebraically, you have your 100 times x, when I cross multiply, equals my 450. Then you can divide by 100. And we all know if they both end in zeros, they can cancel out, so you don't have to worry about looking at larger numbers. Now you're really only dealing with 45 over 10. So that means if I'm taking a tenth away, that's going to be the equivalent of 4.5. Okay? The reason why I went the long route is so you can see why. Okay? That's all I want you to do is see why. So here's the secret if you want to know. If you're going from meters, if you're trying to find the meters and you're coming from centimeters, your answer is going to be small. So going from centimeters to meters, your answer is going to be small. If I'm going from meters to centimeters, your answer is going to be large. So just knowing that little tidbit, remember, most of these tests are going to be multiple choice. But just knowing that little tidbit, when you're going from meters to centimeters, your numbers are going to be larger. Okay? You can do process elimination. Okay. All right. Thank you. Yes, the chart does help a lot. And this is another thing that you might want to do an index card for, like little flashcards, just to kind of keep it sharp, okay? By you creating it, like even though I'll give you the conversion chart, but it's like by you creating those index cards, it helped, and you go through them every day. And I did found online for people that struggle with their multiplication table, I found something online that I used in my session today that I was like, ooh, this is kind of cool. And you can work with your multiplication tables and you can time yourself, you know, nothing to stress out, but just to see how many you can get at a certain time, and you can kind of use that. If you want the copy of that resource, because I can't send you out because we're on TikTok and I've already had 2 blessed violations already, they're probably going to take my TikTok away from me. But here we are. So I'm going to try not to. But if you're interested and you need help with your multiplication tables, please let me know and I'll send you the link. Okay. There you go. Yep, to centimeters to meters, you multiply. The meters to centimeters, you divide. Yep. Please start a backup account. Well, I'll just go to YouTube. Follow me there. No, just kidding. Yeah, I'm telling you. You can't afford to lose me. Oh, that was the sweetest thing. And you're like, no, seriously, can't do it. I know, trust me. I'll let you know where I'm at. If I'm not here, I'm going to be on the other thing. I'm going to be on YT. So if I'm not there, I'm going to be here. Okay, so if I'm not here, I will be here. Write it down. Take a picture of it. Okay. So if anything crazy happens, that's where I'm at. Because I'm not going to fight and be like some of my friends with like 28 to 40 different channels. That's too much. Okay. All right. So now for the last one. Okay, so how many pints are in 40 ounces? Ooh, look at her being all crazy. That's why Janice was like, nope. Okay. So how many pints are in 40 ounces? Okay, so we need to figure out now when they're talking ounces, they're talking fluent ounces. Okay. Yes, last one. Because I want to do one more digging out or taking more water out the well. And I also have to put some thank yous everywhere. So there's a lot of people that I need to thank. And then plus to give a call for anybody that wants to, or emails, whatever, to people that want to join. Because now we got some people that are sponsoring. And this is awesome. Okay, conversion table, not a problem. All right, so this time we're talking about fluent ounces. So we want to know how many pints are in an ounce. So if there's 8 fluent ounces in 1 cup and 2 cups equals a pint and 2 pints equals 1 quart, we want to know how many are in 40, how many pints are in 40 ounces. Is that Snoozeberry? It says 2.5. Okay, Kiki says 3.5. Okay, show you. Is that a 10? I don't know. Okay. All right. So 16 ounces are in 1 pint. Exactly. So the way that you do this, so if we know 8 fluent ounces is 1 cup, in order for me to get 2 cups, it'll be 18 times 2. So that would be 16. So 16 ounces, fluent ounces, equals 1 pint. But they want us to know how many pints are in 40 ounces. So if we know that 16 ounces are in, what did I say? In 1 pint. Losing my mind. They're asking how many pints, so we don't know, are in 40 ounces. Yup. There you go, Michael. All right. So basically, like, who said it? I think it was Kima said it earlier. That means we're actually doing division. So 40 divided by 16. Okay. So if I wanted to do it this way mathematically, I'll say 16 times x will equals 40. And we were going to divide 16 on both sides. So if I wanted to simplify, I know that 40 and 16 right off the top of my head has what in common? 4 or 8? There we go. Because if I divide this by 8 and divide this by 8, I can reduce it to 5 halves. This is a lot smaller that I can work with. So if I wanted to divide 5 divided by 2, how many 2's can go into 5? 2 of them. Because 2 times 2 gives me 4. So it goes into 5 without going over. And then what's left is a 1, but I can put my decimal point and I can add a 0 to make that 1 into a 10. So how many 2's can go into 10? 5 groups of 2's goes into 10 exactly. So we're looking at 2.5 pints. Okay, 3 and some? Like up to 3. All right. How are we feeling? There you go. Good, Michael. So, I just want you to see that not just because the conversion chart is right before me, but I also want you to see that there's not a lot to fear with the conversions. Now, for those that are thinking about going into nursing, conversions is huge, especially doing your dosage. Okay, your dosage calculations, that's basically what this is. Okay, it's proportions. Okay, that's what these are called, proportions. So if you are looking for someone that is excellent in that, not that much memorization, you can go to my friend A Blessed RN. If you're not already following her, you can follow her. If you're also looking for some more word problems or more like exact test questions, you can go to my friend Evelyn, Miss Taylor. That she does the TEAS, the ASVAB, and the GED. And she's usually on like 1 p.m. Central Time. I think Monday through Friday, if I'm not mistaken. That's her free version. In the evenings, that's for her subscriptions. So if you're looking for want more of that personal stuff and you want to pay for the monthly subscription, go ahead. That's going to be her evening versions. But in the afternoons, that's her free ones. All right. So if you're looking for a chemistry teacher, please check out Professor TK. She is amazing. She's hardcore. She's been through it. She knows her stuff. So definitely take a look at her. And if you want to learn how to add, subtract, multiply, divide on the abacus, you can follow my friend Learning with Lynette. And then if you have any of the little ones, like say for pre-K or kindergarten, and you're thinking about homeschooling for the following year, hey, check out my girl Nancy. She's the online elementary tutor. Go ahead and follow her. I would love to see her go live to show some more examples of maybe some stuff that you guys can use for the summer, if you're doing like a staycation. And then once you get into the advanced stuff, that is not me. Because every time I say I got a guy, I finally got the guy on TikTok. All right, his name is Robert, the AP math guy. Sometimes he comes on my lives here and there. He does AP statistics, okay, any statistics, because sometimes I get stuck on a problem and I go right to him like, Robert, are you free? All right, awesome. And if you're thinking about going to calculus next year, like Calc AB, BC, he's been putting out some math tips on his TikToks. So definitely follow him so you can get all the latest tips and what's going on, to make sure that your AP stuff is being accredited. You do not want to take a course and find out that it's not accredited at all for college, right? So, yes. Oh, thank you. Yes, go ahead, Mo, please. Definitely. Because we're kind of working on some people, and I have people that are doing praxis. I have some people that are, we have a group that's doing, all of a sudden I have a brain fart. It's called the Summer Math Course, Prep Course. So I'm getting people ready for their GED, the ASVAB and the ACCUPLACER, and the TEAS test. So if we can get them with the math components of it, next week we're actually starting to get a little bit more into algebraic components. We just finished up with the decimals, fractions, and tomorrow we're actually going to finish up with, what did I finish up with today? What did I do today? Oh, order of operations and integer operations. So adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, and getting the feel for when are you going to be adding positive and negative numbers versus when you're going to be subtracting. Same thing with multiplying and dividing. So we can get you guys, get all those points that you need to pass, because once you go into school, they're going to teach you what they need to teach you. We just have to get over this barrier so you can get that. All right. Oh, like all this money, spending. All right, so here's another thing. If you like this notebook that I'm using, I designed it, okay? This has like 3 different covers, but I designed all this notebook so you have the dots on one side, then you have the grid on the other side. But in addition to that, we have what's called, I might have to get my other book soon, because we're starting to run low. I didn't realize how much pages I got. Better keep tabs on that. Okay, so we have what's called a factor sheet. So if you take a look, like say that you're trying to break down the square root of 108, then it gives you the factors. And notice we have something in red. So that 3 and the 36, that's what's called a perfect prime combination, because this 36 is a perfect square root, and this 3 is a prime square root. So it kind of helps you get to your breakdowns of radicals, help you with your breaking down or your factoring. So it goes up to 1 all the way to 200. So then you have your rules of integers. Okay, we'll have like words that's going to be associated with certain problems, order of operations, properties of exponents, anything with the properties of quadrilaterals, a little bit of geometry stuff. Okay, area and perimeter. Then we also have the section where we talk about volume and surface area. and then the unit circle, as well as some trig stuff, because this is really designed from 7th grade on up. So even if your kid is like a super genius and they're going into the 8th grade and they're taking Algebra 2, this book will be beneficial for them. If you are going back to college and it's been a minute, this is great to have these reminders. Now, if you just want my notes, okay, and Michael, I thought I mailed all your books. And then I did some cleaning and I found one more book. So I have to mail it to you. I know. I'm a mess. Okay. So I will be gentle with this one. Or if anything, I'll just wait for the next one to come. Or something. Something will happen. But if you want a copy of my notes, okay, you can. It's called Audrey's Notes. A play on Cliff Notes. So what you'll notice at the bottom, there's a QR code. So in each section will have their own QR code. If you scan this QR code, it will take you directly to the live that I did all these notes that's on YouTube. So now you don't have to be like, all right, what was those notes and which one's connected to which? It's already situated. All you have to do is just click it, scan it, and then just watch along. Okay, some of them you might have to fast forward a little bit, but majority of it, it'll take you right to it. All right. Okay. How much are the books? I keep changing because right now I'm trying to put a sale on this and I'm not sure TikTok approved it yet. So that's why I'm hesitant, because I do have books on TikTok Shop. If you just check out the Ultimate Math Notebook, it's there. If you check out Audrey's Notes, it's there as well. If not, you can go to my website. There's a link. If you click on that, you'll see when you go into my profile is the very first link that's available. You click on that, and I'm actually running a sale on these books. So, especially at the Audrey's Notes, but it's only going to be the digital copy. But if you want the physical copy, you can either go through TikTok Shop or you can go to my website, which if you just DM me, I will give you the link for that. Okay? Because I had to do some changes. Yes. Do I have Zelle? I do. If anything, direct message me so I can go that route for you. So, yes, because if you want to, I'm doing something for, well, if you haven't seen my videos, I need help. Oh, the Lord above knows I need help. I will be definitely going to church tomorrow because tomorrow is Thursday, so I can. I'm running a little short with my house, so if anything, you can definitely go to here or you can go to here. I can't verbally say the words. If anything, you can donate anything. $1. I would take $1. I'm not even sure if they can do 50 cents. It adds up, okay? You know, I would take change, but I'd rather the ones that fold, but it will all add up. So if you need this one, definitely DM me, and then I can give you all the information you need for that, okay? So I definitely want to get this, and I'm going to give you an update once I actually sit down and see, because there's been some stuff pouring in, and yes, I appreciate that. Okay. All right. So if anything, after my live, I'll just DM, I'll just send you the link. I think that'll be easier for you to do, for us to do South Africa. Okay. All right. Oh, that'll be great. Oh, and thank you. Thank you. All right. All right. So, if anything, I did who we should follow. I need to go through my whole spiel here. Again, I'm a little behind. Because every time I try to download something, it just goes crazy. But if you ever want the replays of my lives, just go here and look up this and this, okay? I have a couple of channels, but if you go to this and ACG, it will take you directly there. Now, by next week, I think I will be going to my summer hours. So I'm still double checking, but I think it's just going to be a small tweak. So I know I'm probably going to see if I can go more so in the morning for one, and then maybe just Saturday and Sunday I'm thinking about like 7 p.m. Okay, so these hours are going to be like during the school year, but now that a lot of people are like, staying home, but the weekends I'm going to see if I can go up an hour, because I need to start taking care of me right now because I'm falling apart. Monday through Thursday, I'm thinking about 11 o'clock as opposed to 9:30s. Okay. I mean, Janice, you know how people talk about being on survival mode and you're only there for like a few months, maybe a year. I've been on survival mode, no lie and no exaggeration, for 18 years now. One, dealing with my then significant other and all of that. So ended that. So I'm divorced. And please don't message me. It's like, hey, you want to go out? Like, I'm not going to. Like, don't waste your time. But everyone's saying that there's a blessing coming. There's a blessing coming. I'm like, I know things can get worse, but I'm trying to think of better things because I can't take anymore. I really can't. I cried basically all day. I didn't stay in bed, but I just felt paralyzed all day. And it just was not a good feeling. But I'm here. I'm here because of you guys. I had to get out the funk because of you guys. And I mean, you guys, you think you're saving me. Hell, you are saving me. You save me every time you show up here. Every time you say hi. Every time you ask a question. Hello, butterfly. Say it like that. You save me every time. Yes. You're all... So I try. Thank you. Yeah, I try not to do too much subscription. I just ask for what I just basically need. I try not to be too crazy because I know like people want to advance, but it's hard, it's hard everywhere, and it doesn't even matter where we're at. And I just appreciate that you guys want to improve yourselves and you want to break through this math barrier, maybe for yourself, maybe for your significant other, maybe for your kids or your grandkids. It's just awesome. You're my TikTok family. And it's like, this is the best place. You don't find love like this on Facebook. Shoot. They'll cut your balls off and just throw you to the side. They don't care. Oh, yeah, we're a great family. Oh, a majorly dysfunctional family, but I can go on TikTok and not know a person, do a couple math problems, and then all of a sudden, they're my soul friends for life. It's crazy. No, Janice, you're doing so much more. And then a lot more people. Oh, Janice, direct me to your friends because we have someone that can sponsor her. The one that, I think her name was Erica. I think it was. I can't remember. Definitely message me again. Okay. Oh, no problem, Daisy. So if there's anyone that wants to basically get into a small group setting, so we can break down math concepts, because, there's some of you guys that are currently in college classes that needs assistance. I want you to DM me. Like, DM me. Like, hey, Audrey, I'm taking blank. I'm taking a college course, or I'm taking the ASVAB, or I'm taking the GED, and I need some assistance. I'm asking my friends and my families to donate, even though they're donating to help me with my home situation. I'm seeing it as they're donating because I don't care about myself. Let me be transparent. I care about they're really donating to sponsor a student, and some of them are starting to sponsor. So if you want to get some tutoring If you want to just pay like $5 just so we can make sure that you're coming to the sessions and you're not just taking up a spot, we can do that. Because where else are you going to get tutoring for like $5? Like nowhere, right? But there's people that are out there sponsoring. You're not in college yet, but working on books from the library. Will be able to join. Yes, Aaron. Yes, you will. Definitely message me again. Okay? Definitely message me again. Because it's nice to learn from a book, but at the same time, when you have questions, you can't ask it. You can't ask it. So I want people to be able to take these assessments in September. I'm not playing. Like, this is your time. Even if you don't pass it, we'll just have to sit down and figure out what we missed. But if you do pass it, hey, celebrations, let's go. But I want you to not be fearful of not taking it and just let time pass over and over and over again. Okay? For $2, okay. Do you go over geometry? Some, I can. If anything, that's when it gets kind of funky. When it gets kind of funky, Daisy, because sometimes people don't want geometry, and it's like I'm kind of catering to the masses right now. So there's bits and pieces of geometry I do, but if you're taking a geometry course and you need assistance, just let me know. Okay? Because my whole thing is really Algebra 2. By Saturday, what's today? I probably could. If I do it through the A name, which I can't say, but we all know them. But if I order it through this, it's a shame I gotta go through both routes. Thank you, Butterfly, because I need help. If I place an order tonight, I'll see if they can receive it by Saturday. Yeah, so South Africa, and plus also I'm going to need your address and all that fun stuff. So see if I can put it through. Might be able to, maybe an author's copy or something like that. We'll see. You sell them as PDFs? The Audrey's notes I sell as PDFs, but I can order it. Amazon is a lot faster, so I can order it through Amazon that way. But if I'm going to order it from Books By, it'll take like about a week. It's coming from like North Carolina. Okay, can I get them sooner since I'll be traveling on Monday? I will try, because remember, I'm not printing them. Yeah, but if we do as a PDF, you'll get it the same night. So the ones that is attached to the link that's in my profile, yeah, that will be a PDF. But if you want the actual book, like Audrey's notes book, or if you want the notebook, we're gonna have to outsource. Yeah. All right. So again, follow me, please. I don't know. It seems like my follows have been at a standstill for a bit, but go ahead and follow me. DM me. You can DM me tonight. I will definitely take a look through who's DMing me as soon as I get off of this and start uploading a lot of my backlog videos. And if you have any questions, like I've seen geometry, so Daisy, definitely message me. And then South Africa message me as well. Okay. All right. And Aaron definitely messaged me as well. So if anyone else that is like Fast Horse, that's another one. Like if you're still working on your, what were you working on? Were you working on ASVAB or GED Fast Horse if you're still here? Can't remember. I'm surprised I remember my name. Yeah. because you're always here, especially the ones that always come in here. So if you guys need some assistance and you want some guidance, and then Mojo, definitely message me about the college algebra test so I can help with that. And there was someone else. Can't remember. But if you need me, that's what we're doing. All right. Any more questions? Look at you guys with 25K. That will be fine for me. That would be awesome. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Okay, again, if you can, that'll be awesome. If you want to sponsor a student, go ahead and just reach me at these two places. If it needs to be this place, definitely DM me. And if you want to be sponsored, definitely reach out to me and tell me which exam you're talking about. Okay? I want to help people. I really do. Okay? I really, really do. I don't know what it is. I guess that's why God's keeping me around. To be honest with you. I think that's why he's keeping me around. Okay? All right, lovely people. Thank you so much. Oh, Janice, please message me and tell me which. There was I think 1 or 2 friends. I already spoke to Jeremy. Since he's taking the test later, we're going to have him work more in the fall. So I'm going to work with him. So thank you for that lead. But definitely message me. I can't remember. I think her name was Erica. I think I am. So message me what your friends' names are so I can ask them if they still want to come into the group. Okay? Thank you. All right, everyone, have a lovely evening. Don't stay up too much scrolling. I know, some of this stuff is funny. All right, I'm going to go and me and my bucket, just going to have a little bit of fun. All right, guys, have a lovely evening. Take care. Bye now. Oh, see you tomorrow night at 9:30. What am I going to be doing? I have no idea. See, it's going to be fun for both of us. Yay.